during prime time. Prime time, we have defined it as starting from somewhere around 6 a.m. and ending at 9 a.m. and somewhere 6:30 p.m. and 10 p.m. when we think that we are all at home. And we may be watching TV with our children and with our spouses and enjoying this thing which commenced there in 1935. We are hoping that watching TV, it will give us the news, it will entertain us, but it will also educate us. So we decided that to start with, 70%, now there's no policy like that. So you go to France, you go to Mexico, you go to some content fair, and you can buy content for $200 and come and put it on air, and sometimes translate it even into Twi, and say this telenovela in Twi. Indian for omoka Twi. Yeah. So we believe that we must start somewhere. Our proposition in the cabinet, in the policy document, is that 70% of content that will be aired during prime time must be local content. Must be local content. Because the local industry is dying. The local industry is dying. This is content that has been shown abroad for years. In fact, the producers have made all the money they needed to make. They have canned it. In broadcasting, they use the word canned. It means that it's like it's in archives. And then we go and buy it. And because it is in archives, and they've canned it, and they've made all the money they needed to make, they are ready to offload the content to you at cheap amounts. So our broadcasters, in cutting corners, in maximizing revenue, enhancing their profitability, and making their shareholders very happy, would rather go and buy this content and put it on air for our children to consume. So you'll be at home one day and your daughter will go out and come back, and the 1 earring that you gave her is now 4. Your daughter will go out or your son will go out one day, come back home, and instead of putting the trousers where it should be, to be somewhere else. Because what they are watching somehow is transforming them. And we believe that that is not the way to go. We need to somehow protect our culture. We need to make sure that our local industry also grows so that we can also can our content and go and sell it out there for peanuts. And the only way we can do that is to support the local industry. So that is one thing in the policy document that we believe. There's been a lot of debate on it. The broadcasters were not happy with 70%, but we're happy to hear the broadcasters saying that graduate it. Start from 50%, move it to 70, then move to 75, which is an indication that at least they share the convictions that we have, that we need to do something to change the landscape. We've also decided that 21st of September 2017 and 21st September is an important day in the life of Ghana. So we decided that on 21st September 2017, analog broadcasting will be physically switched off. And digital broadcasting would be how we are going to watch television. And the transitional arrangements will be starting from the 1st of July. As I said, Greater Accra and Ashanti is up. We are hoping that between July and September, all the other regions will be up. By 1st October, we'll have a nationwide digital terrestrial television platform. And we'll do what we call simulcast or parallel run. You have your analog television running. For those who can afford a set-top box, you can also go and invest in a set-top box. But we'll give a period of 12 months for all of us to go through that process. There will be public education. There will be adverts on your TV. There will be billboards. There will be adverts on radio. And on 21st October 2017, we would physically turn off our analog transmission. And we'll say that Ghana will be the third country in Africa that would have migrated successfully from analog broadcasting to digital broadcasting. I'm happy to say that the model that we decided we're going to use are models that are being copied all over. Nigeria has copied our model and is currently in the process of implementing our model in moving from analog transmission to digital transmission. Other countries have visited us and they are looking at how we've been able to do this within this short period that my minister took over the Ministry of Communication. So we are on course to achieve the transition from analog broadcasting to digital broadcasting. We've also come to some realization. You know that the government in power now, we believe in social democracy. We believe that there is power at the bottom of the pyramid, and that we all have to stretch a hand in ensuring that life is better for everybody. So we've been able to identify, courtesy the last living standard survey, which was carried out, that there are about some 1 million households that could be classified as vulnerable. I don't qualify, my household does not qualify to be called a vulnerable household. Honourable Kujoto's household does not qualify. Prof's household does not qualify. In fact, those of the people are behind me all do not qualify as vulnerable households. So the Statistical Service has some criteria in determining which households are vulnerable. And it's been determined that some 1 million households are vulnerable across the country. We have made adequate provision to ensure that we provide these households with some set-top box through some modalities that we will send to Cabinet for approval, so that these households, 1 million of them, will be able to access television when we move from analog to digital. For the 3.8 million or so other television households, we don't classify you as vulnerable. And so we expect that between now and 21st of September 2017, when we switch off, you would have bought a set-top box as approved by the National Communications Authority and as conformed to the specifications of Ghana, which you'll be seeing on your TV, and will be ready for the move from analog broadcasting to digital broadcasting. Let me add to TEK TV that you've joined a community that is progressive in nature. To survive in this community, you must have the right content. And I'm happy that you are targeting a particular group within society, offering us education. Content is key. Apart from that, these young men and women who are being educated here, allow them to flourish in terms of creativity and innovation. There may be mistakes here and there, but it is through the mistakes and the failures that we learn and become better people. Apart from that, don't just leave it as TEK TV so it will work. Put some resources and some effort in branding it so that the look and feel will be exciting enough for our children to tune in and watch and learn things from it. Remember that your competition is not only the other broadcasters, but your competition is also with the mobile phone. The WhatsApp is competition, YouTube is competition, all the streaming that you have around here is competition. And I believe that you position enough that 10 years down the line, we'll look back and say, this venture that we began 10 years ago has grown and is a talk of town. In conclusion, let me just reaffirm what Honourable Okujeto said, that within the e-Transform project that we are executing, there's a part for connectivity. And the Ministry of Education is leading that, but we are supporting that initiative. And as he speaks to the schedule officer at education, I'll also be speaking to the schedule officer, the project coordinator for that project. And I hope they will be able to coordinate work in ensuring that they provide you with the necessary support to be able to deliver on the mandate. Let me thank the university community for two things that you've done for us. First, our secondary data center. Ghana has a national data center in Accra. We have a secondary data center. That secondary data center is located on this campus. And Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology is hosting us. This is where our secondary data center is. Whatever happens in Accra is mirrored here. So even if something happens in Accra, quickly, within 5-6 seconds, we'll be able to pick up what is happening here on this campus. And we appreciate the Vice Chancellor and the team who worked with us in making sure that our secondary data center became a reality. Let me also congratulate you for partnering us with the incubation center that we have here. Some of you might not know, but we have an incubation center here that over the period has been able to churn out, I think, close to 30 young men and women who have gone through the process and are in diverse areas doing very interesting things. In fact, one of them I led to one of the broadcasting houses, and they are currently using a software in managing the account receivables. I want to wish the team well and to congratulate you again on behalf of my boss, and to say that at the Ministry of Communication, our doors are always open to listen to you, to support you, and to help you in moving forward. So with these few remarks permitted, let me say TEK TV is now a reality. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. TEK TV will be assigned one channel, and that is our second memory verse. We are getting closer to the end of the first part of today's program, and by the powers conferred on me as the MC, I would like the Vice Chancellor to, at this point in time, in a few words, appreciate the ministers in our midst, and also possibly disclose the summary of the content of that letter that was given to you.
Thank you, Solo. I'll start from the bottom. I have not opened the letter. I only handed it over to the registrar. Thank you. I told you that it's always good to commission things when it's getting to election period. We've all heard the good things that has come from the Deputy Minister of Education and also from the Deputy Minister of Communication. I stand here on behalf of management. First, let me even start from the Council of the University management, staff, and all the student body to say a big thank you for the wonderful things you have mentioned here today. I'm even very happy for the fact that the Deputy Minister for Communication talked about the savings that we would make by we receiving the free things. We will channel that savings into building up the capacities of what we have started. And we promise you that TEK TV, our prime focus is towards educational broadcasting. I want to mention it again. Our prime focus is towards educational broadcasting. So we are available, all the parties who are campaigning now. We can do broadcasting, educational broadcasting materials for you. We can do cartoons for you. We started advertising since we are launched, isn't it? Yes. And all the other things people are capable of doing that. We are fantastic students with a lot of creativity. And this is what we want to tap and we want to put out there to the benefit of this nation and the rest of Africa. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Vice Chancellor. At this point in time, ladies and gentlemen, before the vote of thanks and closing prayer, permit me to run through this list that has been given to me by way of acknowledging some personalities in our midst. In no particular order, ladies and gentlemen, we have in our midst the acting registrar, Mr. Benando. Professor Imo Rubraiman is the provost of the College of Humanities and Social Science. Faculty of Art used to be one of his constituencies, which has now been colonized. We have the Deputy Minister of Communications, Honourable Sarpong. Our own Vice Chancellor, Sunday School teacher, is here. The Deputy Minister of Education, Honourable Okujatu Ablakwa. Pro Vice Chancellor, Professor Samuel Ni